I recently heard a very powerful story from my colleague, my friend, Rabbi Dovid Katz, who's a shaliach in Melbourne. And this is what he shared. There was a couple in Jerusalem who had a serious issue. Their young son had developed an uncontrollable addiction to candy. His teeth were rotting, he was always in a wild mood, and nothing seemed to help. No punishments, no rewards, not even therapy. The child found ways to sneak, steal, and beg for sugar wherever he went. Finally, they were told about an elderly teacher known for teaching even the most difficult kids. They called him desperately asking for help. He listened patiently and agreed to meet their son, but in one condition. He can only meet the child in 1 month. They were confused. Why delay when their son's health was at risk? But they had no other option, so they waited. A month later, the boy met with the teacher, and remarkably, things began to change almost immediately. His attitude shifted, his behavior improved. It was like a new child. Where all the psychologists and behavioral counselors had failed, this white-haired school teacher had somehow broken through. The parents were thrilled, and they returned to thank the teacher. But they had one question that was bothering so much. Why did you wait a full month to see our son? The teacher replied simply, when you called me, you didn't know it. But at the time I was speaking to you on the phone, I was holding a cigarette in my hand. Because I've been smoking for 60 years. And I realized there and then, I could not help your son conquer his addiction while I was a slave to my own. So I took a month to quit, and only then did I feel I could speak to him with integrity. What a story. And I feel that this is exactly the message of this week's Parashat, Acharei and Kedoshim. Because in Acharei, the Torah describes the Kohen Gadol's Yom Kippur service. And before he brings an atonement for the people, he has to first bring a sacrifice, atonement for himself. And in Kedoshim we're commanded, Kedoshim to you shall be holy, meaning live with integrity, clarity, and discipline. Not only because it's important for you, but because if you want to fill your job as a Jew to be a light upon the nations, you first need to be a light upon yourself. So therefore remember, influence doesn't come from preaching, but from personal example. Before we can help somebody else change, we have to look inwards, start with ourselves, and that will make all the difference. Wishing you Shabbat Shalom.